To pray, there's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kira Show here. Now, whenever we last left off, Deku has somewhat altered the way the future was going. Sapphire made a prediction, and Midoriya changed the outcome of that prediction. So, exactly what does that mean? This means Sapphire, she needs to at least look into the future. Garnet's future vision, though, is a lot better than hers. And, well, she can't just force Ruby to fuse. That's not how these things work. So she's going to need to at least convince her to talk and sort things out a little bit more. Now, let us begin. With that being said, we'll cut back over to Midoriya. Him and Mina are going to be spending some time together, as one thing would happen. The day after the mission, Mina came to Deku's house at the beach, and she was a bit surprised to see exactly what is going on, knocking on the door and Deku letting her in. As you have Midoriya. He's still somewhat worried, as he is carrying around Pearl's gem, and at least just looking at it a lot, thinking that she'll just reform at any minute. It can't take that long anymore, right? Now, with that being said, one thing would happen. Deku would at least show her around. This is the temple, there's not really a lot to do there. He's only been in one room. And in fact, it's a bit odd, because he didn't even mean to go there. Apparently that's where we're housing all the corrupted gems, and then him having to explain everything, along with taking her through the warp, showing her the Sky Arena, which she finds to be fascinating. This place is just floating off the ground. So, what does that mean? Her at least trying to get a hold of this, and trying to process it. She's pretty sure this is defying, what is it called, the laws of physics or something? But she's not even too sure about it herself. There are some weird quirks out there, so a floating building isn't really something to be concerned about, right? Now, Deku would at least do something. Somewhat wanting to at least train her. Since because of what happened last time. After talking with her, they found that Jasper is a problem. And, well, Garnet is gone for right now. So they're going to need to try and take her down. Jasper is a very, very strong gem. He nearly would have probably died in the last encounter if it wasn't for Garnet. So he does have at least a couple ideas. And he does think. This battle, or this fight, it will be very, very, very hard. Especially if they aren't properly prepared to face off against her. Meaning that they need to do some training. Him actually asking Mina if she's up for at least learning something. Now, Midoriya would just walk over towards the benches. He thinks that it's still here. It should be, right? Him at least walking around. Eventually finding it. Holding up an old bow staff. He hasn't really had a lot of time to come here. and he at least thought he left some weapons here, along with Pearl herself. She usually doesn't spend a lot of time around him anymore. Whenever she does, it's usually to help train him. Now, this would be where Midoriya would at least hand it over to her, along with showing her what she needs to do, beginning to actually move out his body and move it different ways. Basically showing her what she needs to do with his staff, then handing it over to her, since she will need to actually use it herself. Now, Midoriya would just walk away, and he's thinking, this isn't really a good idea. If he tries to train her the same way Pearl tried training him, then, him at least thinking, he needs to go find a variety of weapons then. Him walking off and going back through the warp. Mina just watching him disappear, since she does at least hear the sound of it activating. Kinda confused, but still a bit interested. Now, she would begin to train with the staff, trying to get a hold of the basics, just like Midoriya told her, as he's heading for the armory. He still does have Pearl's gem, but, well, he needs to find Lion. Eventually he would have found Lion, go to the armory, and, well, spend some time there. Thinking, what type of weapon would Mina use? Well, her quirk is acid, so obviously something that would help that. Although it's kind of confusing. Swords are out of the question, because, well, he's not really sure if she'd want one. He could get her a mace, an axe, something like that. But what's a good weapon? I'm trying to at least think. Something that would help her quirk in a real situation. Or actual combat. Why is this so stressful? Him actually just looking around, more and more and more. Going through each weapon, category. And at least finding an old bow. And he does at least think about this. This could be useful. But, as he would just take it, along with some more weapons. And he does head back to the Sky Arena. Him arriving and letting Lion actually take a bit of a rest. Him and her actually beginning to talk more and more. Him telling her that he got her some weapons and they'll be doing some training. Now, eventually they would have done some training, had fun, mess around a bit, basically see what they can look down and see what they can see all the way from up in the sky. And try and at least make a bit of jokes about it. Along with that, eventually Mina would have to go home. Them actually doing this form of training for a bit of time. Let us say about a full 2 weeks. And, well, Midoriya is still a bit concerned, since Pearl has not well reformed. It has been getting difficult, along with that he does actually want to have a talk with Amethyst. So, he's going to have to go meet with the Purple Puma. And he knows that that's going to be at least a lot more difficult. Now, one thing that would happen is whenever it's nighttime or nightfall, he would have actually just left the house and begin to look around. Now, Midoriya is not really too sure what to do, so he would decide to take a bit of a disguise. Now, for his disguise, I want to say he would at least think about a pro hero he once saw. He believes the guy's name was Tiger. Yeah, he's part of an old hero group. I think they're at least still active. He'd have to at least look it up. He would begin to shapeshift. He still does need to work on this ability more, because... Yikes, what happened last time was not fun. Now, Deku would just shapeshift his nose, along with his hair, making his hair longer and his nose more feline-like, along with actually changing and making patterns on his skin, along with giving himself, well, not claws, but at least making his hands look like cat hands or paws, and proceeding to go out. Now, this would be a lot easier, since he's been able to work on this ability more. And, well, tonight, he does at least try and look for the purple puma. Now, Deku is roughly around, I believe, well, he's coming up on his 9th birthday, since it is going to be in July. And I did say that this was, well, I believe it's in the middle of June. Now, Midoriya, he is looking around for purple puma. And he's at least being careful. He's making sure to at least try and stay away from some areas. And he is running along the rooftops, until one of his ears do perk up, and he actually does look in that direction, deciding to follow the smell. The smell of pizza, fish, and, well, extra pepperoni. He's fairly certain that that is Amethyst, heading in that direction, as he would come upon a scene. Amethyst is actually fighting against a guy. Now, this guy, he has a bit of an odd quirk. He has a strength enhancing quirk, and the purple puma is trying to stop him from mugging somebody. Purple puma would have grabbed him, picked the man up, and began to toss him around the alleyway, and actually punch into him and, well, hurt the man, beating him and trying to at least subdue him, the man usually getting back up. Now, the purple puma would have actually gotten him, and take him down, or so she thinks, until she would turn around and try to assure the person that she is safe, until the man would have gotten back up and actually pull a blade, going to charge in. The purple puma turning around and beginning to try and at least react, until one person would come in, Midoriya, flying in with a mighty kick, as he would kick directly off the man, sending him directly into the wall, smashing Moshu's body and breaking his left arm, as he would just quickly put his hands out, along with his feet hitting the ground as he would go sitting down like a cat, Ami just looking up at the purple puma, before standing on his 2 feet and saying that she really should be careful, and to at least make sure they're down next time. Amethyst is staring at him, before realizing exactly what is going on. It's a bit dark, but she's able to see now. This is clearly Izuku, as she would just try and at least play this off in front of the woman, saying, "Good work. And, well, you're only supposed to watch, not jump in." Him just saying that he wouldn't have to jump in if she was more careful. Clearly these two are arguing about something. The woman just thinking purple puma and walking away, before Amethyst was just turned back around and stared directly at him, asking exactly what is he doing here, and how did you even find me? Izuku just saying that he followed her scent. Along with that, what are you doing? You're a pro hero and a vigilante. Both? Really? Amethyst would just say that that isn't what we're talking about. We're talking about you. You're the one who's running around in the middle of the night. I'm guessing you snuck out while Pearl wasn't looking. Deku just pulling something out of his pockets, holding up her gem, saying that she still hasn't reformed. So, I've just been on my own for right now. You see, I've at least talked with Sapphire. I'm trying to find Ruby. It's hard to talk to people whenever they just leave. Besides, you ran out the door first chance you got. And you just left. You've been gone for months, Amethyst. Is this really what you're gonna do? Vigilante, hero, what next? Amethyst is looking at Midoriya and saying that this is how she's going to live her life. He doesn't even begin to understand the lie she believed. Deku just looking at her and saying that that doesn't matter. You think you were lied to? How do you think I feel? Izuku Universe Quartz or Izuku Rose Quartz. Or how about this, my favorite, Izuku Quartz Universe. Now guess what it is? Try and figure it out. Guess which order I'm going to put it in now. Izuku Quartz Diamond Universe. Has a good ring to it, doesn't it? As these two are arguing in the middle of the alleyway. And with this at least turning to the sky and making sure he's knocked out. The guy has been out cold for quite a while. That blow to his arm kind of, well, sent too much pain throughout his body. Somewhat at least making him pass out because of the intense pain. And with this at least taking a sigh and saying that you're lucky he was out. Otherwise he would have hurt you. Now, I'm guessing there's another reason you're here. You're going to stop this whole vigilante stuff and come back home. Is that it? No, it's not actually. Huh? Her just turning back around, saying, what does he mean? Midoriya just saying that he doesn't want her to, well, he doesn't really care anymore. You do whatever you want. That's fine. But you're at least just being inconsiderate. Her just looking back at him, saying, what does he even mean? As she actually just began to ball her fist, saying that she can do whatever she wants. She's over 4,000 years old. Deku just saying he doesn't care. People care about you at this, don't you ever realize that? Besides, what about Jasper? I'm trying to at least think about this. Pearl and I were the ones who are going to go after her. Garnet ever only shows up whenever we go after her. So, help us fix the crystal gems. Us? Pearl's out cold for a while. Probably will be for the next 2 weeks. So what do you want us to do? Or who's the other person in this? My friend, Mina. Oh, your human friend. Okay. So, what's gonna happen then? You go after Jasper, get hurt, and then what? Pearl reforms, freaks out, and you get scolded by your dad. Speaking of which, does he even know you're out this late? No, it's summer. Besides, as far as he knows, I'm asleep right now at the temple. So, one thing's gonna happen. Her just looking at him. Him just saying that him and his friend are training. They're going after Jasper, and they plan on taking him down. But they need the crystal gems. The rebellion. Isn't that something you're good at, Amethyst? Rebelling? So how about this? I don't get in the way of vigilante stuff. I couldn't really care anymore. I don't. And you at least help us take down Jasper. Garnet will show up and help too. I know about that. She knows exactly how important this is. Besides, at least help us find Ruby. She's harder to look out for. Well, as Amethyst turn around, she knows Midoriya is right about this. Garnet once said that the future will break or shatter into pieces. At least that's what Ruby said. It sounded more like Garnet, though. God. This choice is annoying. She knows that she needs to help him, otherwise he's gonna get hurt. Besides... Well, wait. Now she would turn around asking exactly what does he mean by next time. Oh. As he would just at least hold out his hands. His cat hands, to be real. Saying that, you got yourself a tiger, Purple Puma. How about this? I watch your back for you. You help us deal with the Jasper. Besides, one thing I heard her say about you. She called you a runt. Amethyst just looking at him. And cracking her knuckles. Saying, okay. Well, we'll go on a bit of a test tonight then. Pearl won't be back for probably... she won't be back tonight, I know that at least. So, let's go. Me and you are going after some people tonight. If you can show me that you're at least going to help me, then, well, you're gonna prove it to me. Then I can help you. The two jumping away into the air. As a Purple Puma would use her signature style. She would create claws on her hands and begin to climb up the side of the building, or at least run up it. And she would throw out her hands, forming a bit of a different version of her weapon. Through manipulating her light, she's found that she, instead of creating a, well, whip out of light, or, yeah, I think that's right, she can actually create something different. She just creates one solid spike, and throws it out of her wrist, as she's able to yank as hard as she can and actually fly towards it. Basically like a more extreme spider web. Because this weapon is able to pierce solid concrete. And it can be extremely fatal if used improperly. Now, Deku is at least watching that, and finding it to be a bit odd. Trying to do one thing. He does want to summon his shield. But if he does, something else might happen. Well, now everyone knows that shield. As it is, at least just follow after her. She's going pretty fast, but he's able to at least keep up. People watching as these two figures are jumping across the buildings. And eventually Amethyst will just stop, looking down and saying that this is the place they're heading to. It being a warehouse. Deku confused but understanding it, as he would at least make himself a little bit bigger. Shape-shifting to make himself a bit taller and a bit more muscular. His clothes are at least stretching a little bit more, but, well, they're at their absolute limit now. These clothes were already somewhat made to stretch, but, well, they aren't light-based. They're made out of a stretchy material because they're easier for him to move around in. Along with, as Pearls taught him, keep a weapon on you at all times. Meaning that even if he's at school, he does at least try and have something on them that he can defend himself with. Ever since the whole Jasper incident. Now, with that being said, Deku, he would just do one thing. looking saying that he is Tiger. So, let's go. Her just saying that he's gonna have to, well, think of something different. If he's gonna be Tiger, then just know there's already a hero by that name. Someone might mistake you for him, and shut the place down. Alrighty. Deku shapeshifting a bit more, and her at least smirking at this, understanding what he did. As they would walk in, people announcing that it's Purple Puma, and that she's here to fight. Or him. Now, with that being said, Deku and her would step into the ring. People thinking that these two are facing off against each other. Until Leopard, as we'll call him, would walk over to her and immediately turn. The two are going to be facing off in a bit of a 2v2 situation. The announcer is saying that it appears Purple Puma has an ally tonight. So, will our two competitors step into the ring and see if you can take down this new tag team duo? Now, two people would step into the ring, and they would be a bit more surprised by this, saying that Puma usually doesn't fight on, well, this type of scenario. Puma just saying that, turning to Leopard saying that these two guys give me a lot of problems. So, use a bit more of that gem strength, okay? You're going to need it. Deku at least just looking at her, before turning his attention back to the guys in front of him. As he would at least, well, put his hands in a fist, bring them up and getting ready. As they would begin. As soon as that happens, Purple Puma will rush forwards, getting into a battle of strength with this guy. As one thing would happen. Leopard would slide underneath this one guy's legs as he charged him, and immediately jump up, turning around and running directly at the ring. People confused as he would jump onto the elastic cable and immediately just pull on it as hard as he can. Confused as he's basically just floating in the air. People think that that's his quirk, but why is he a cat then? As he would have just yanked it back on the cord as hard as he can, and it sent himself flying, directly coming in as he just punches and actually barrels into this guy. As he gets knocked onto the ground, getting back up and actually cracking his knuckles, rushing forward towards Deku. As he thinks that this will at least be fun. Meanwhile, Purple Puma and this guy are manhandling each other, throwing each other's body weights across the ring. As the thing is already reinforced, but gem strength and super strength, that's pushing it a bit. As the guy would just bring his hand up and go to smash downwards into Purple Puma's face. Her just moving her head as she does bring up her elbow, smashing it directly up into the guy's nose as Leopard would come in, grabbing the guy off the ground and actually just slamming him into the ring, head first as he just slides in. People actually cheering this two duo on. As the guy Midori was fighting would come back in and actually go to punch at him, or at least hit him directly in the face, punching Deku in the nose and then bringing his hands up, slamming them into both sides of his forehead, or both sides of his head, directly right next to his eyes. This is actually hurting and disorienting Deku, as he would just bring his hand up, smashing upwards as hard as he can. The guy going airborne, going up about 20 to 30 feet in the air, as he goes smashing downwards outside of the ring. Amethyst actually staring at Deku for a second, before actually just jumping out and checking on the guy, to see if he's okay. Deku shattered his jaw, but, well, he's at least alive. Purple Puma just saying that the match is, as she would look back at the ring. Deku and this guy are facing off, as Deku and this guy would collide knuckles. The guy actually being able to shatter Deku's hand or at least break his fingers with the punch. Deku actually wincing in pain as he just brings his other hand up and smash the guy across the face as his hand would heal, and bring it up, smashing it to the other side of his face. As he would grab the guy by the shirt collar and smash him down into the ring, and then pin him to the mat. Purple Puma actually a bit more surprised. Deku is using his training, along with a bit of a fighting style. Some of his moves are something Pearl has taught him. Others are just street fighting. Because if people think that a big, bulky, strength-based guy is using a technique, then he might have something other to his quirk. So, he's already demonstrated one or two of his abilities. As after the announcer counts out, it would be announced that Purple Puma has left the arena. So, Lion, or Leopard as we'll call him, has officially become the new champion. Along with Purple Puma at least winning, since these two are on a team. The guy being taken away by the staff, as Purple Puma and Leopard would leave. As soon as they get away, Deku would have dropped the act, immediately just shapeshifting back to normal and just taking a deep breath. As he just decides that that was a bit too much action for one night. Amethyst just looking at him and asking him if he held back on that punch. Deku actually looking at her, the smile on his face fading, saying no actually. That was actually a bit more, intense than I thought. The only time I felt like that was whenever Jasper was, Deku just looking away, saying that a lot has changed. Whenever Jasper attacks him, usually Amethyst, or, you or Garnt shows up. You guys still treat me like I'm a kid. Midoriya. As you just look at him. Deku turning and seeing her shapeshift back to normal. Saying that you're only a kid. You're what? You're an 8, 9 years old? You just fought a guy in a cage match. That's illegal. Not just that, you broke his jaw and then, took down the other guy. Yes, that's impressive. But still. You need to, make sure to hold back. Even I do sometimes. There's only one real person I think I can fight against toe to toe. But usually he's busy. Deku just asking who that is. Her just saying that it doesn't matter right now. What matters is are you okay? I saw your hand earlier. Did it? Deku just saying he's fine. He healed. Besides, he did at least have to make it look like he was still injured. Otherwise, I get it. The two walking away. Amethyst is just saying that he needs to come with her more often. Heck, if you're ever feeling stressed out, just give me a call. Hey, what are you talking about? You still have to hold up your end of the bargain. As these two just walk down the street. Deku actually shapeshifting back to normal as they head for the temple. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and yes, I did change a bit of things around with Tiger Millionaire. And, people are trying to give me advice on how to, bring characters in. Actually, I couldn't really call it advice. It's more like people are suggesting that I bring in Spinel, other people, other characters, and I'm going to be doing that. I actually have seen the series in case anyone is wondering. So I do know what I'm doing, because a lot of people don't really expect that, but I've actually grown up watching this show. I've even seen season 1, which is saying quite a lot about this. Because people think I'm older than I actually am. I won't say my age, but, people think I'm over 22 or 23. That's as much as I'll say, but I'm really not. Anyway, guys, I do hope you enjoyed.